And we've had plenty of time for you to bring them up here. If you would bring them up, it would really help us and the parliamentarians so we can move along. We've been through 60 amendments, and we have 240. So I just thought I'd tell you. The amendment is temporarily withdrawn. The following amendment, the clerk will read the amendment. Members, this is on page 59.
Amendment by Laubenberg.
Chair recognizes Ms. Laubenberg. Members, this is on page 59.
Members, Mr. Speaker, members, this amendment puts the same eligibility requirements for the CHIP perinatal program as we currently have in the CHIP program. It does not eliminate the perinatal program. But you need to understand that we have a finite amount of money from the federal government for this CHIP program. Yes, it is a higher match, but when those dollars are reached, then we do not get that match, and the state has a choice to either put in more state dollars, or to create a waiting list, or to start eliminating services. And I'm trying to nip that before we get to that point, because we don't want to go there
Mr.
again.
Speaker.
This amendment...
For what purpose, Mr. Anchia?
Will the gentlelady yield?
We yield, Ms. Laubenberg?
Just one moment.
Not at this time.
Thank you.
This amendment puts the same requirements, eligibility requirements, for the prenatal. We are expanding the CHIP program, but I want to keep the same eligibility criteria for the expansion as we have now. It is fiscal accountability, and it is the best use of our dollars that we get.
Mr. Speaker.
So I will go ahead and yield.
Mr. Anchia, for what purpose?
Will the gentlelady yield?
I think
Yes.
the lady yields.
Thank you. I just had a couple questions. What would be the impact on children? How many children would be kicked off the plan that with the amendment that you're proposing?
None.
None. You're trying
If they qualify, they're on the program.
I have a document before me that estimates that your amendment would kick 95,480 children off of CHIP in
That is absolutely untrue.
in FY 2008.
That is absolutely untrue, Representative Anchia, and I have been upstairs with Health and Human Services discussing this document, that there are misinformation, wrong facts. I am looking at the same sheet as you are, and that is simply not true.
You know, I could hear you without yelling, but thank you. Thank you for emphasizing that.
I just want to make sure everyone heard me.
But just because you yelled it doesn't make it true. In FY 2009, did you realize that 101,977,000 children will be kicked off CHIP if your amendment passes?
That is absolutely not true.
And these are U.S. citizen children?
I can't tell you if they are or they aren't.
Well, let me explain how the prenatal program works. And since you are unaware, this is prenatal care for children in utero. It's prenatal and perinatal care. So when the children are born in this country, they are U.S. citizens, are they not? So you do know, don't you, that they are U.S. citizen children, correct?
But they're not born yet.
That's the whole point. See, you have an anti-life amendment. The reality is that the children are being... Is it not true? Is it not true?
A lot of folks
will you answer a question?
Against pro-life on every bill that came through here. I will say, I
don't want you to opine on my bill,
on the
my voting record on pro-life.
Pregnancy Center bill, and I commend you
You-
for that.
you
So
will-
I respect what you're saying.
Well,
But let me tell you something. There is no one more pro-life. Well, maybe a few other members might be a little bit more pro-life than I am in here.
whether you
What
beat
I'm
your
trying to
chest
do
and
is
call
make
yourself
sure that
pro-life.
we have the dollars in place to take care of as many children that we possibly can in this state. Now, we may
Thank you
have a
for that
philosophical
testimonial. Would you like to answer a question?
between what the
Would you like to answer my
government-
question,
Answering it.
Madam
Okay, I'm
Madam
gonna ask the
Representative?
question, I'm giving you the answer.
The question was, do you realize that this impacts U.S. citizen children in utero who will not receive prenatal care, which increases the incidence of low birth weight babies and birth defects? Is that not true?
That is not true.
Explain to
That
me
is
how this
absolutely not
bill
true.
does not hurt children in utero.
Because they can still qualify for the program, and they simply apply, meet the qualification criteria,
information-
and they're on the program.
The information I received from my public hospitals that
And-
this would in fact kick children off the prenatal program that we fought so very hard to achieve. If you are harmonizing eligibility standards, one of those standards is that the mothers would not be eligible for these standards. Is that not true?
You didn't really fight for it because you put it on as a rider last session on appropriations.
Oh,
At the
believe you
middle-
me, believe you me.
At the middle of the night, in the middle of the night, when no one was really, paying a lot
I
of
can ask the
attention.
former chairman of appropriations if he wants to ask whether I fought for this or not, and he knows the answer to that. He knows the answer
I
to
don't
that.
ever remember this coming up on the floor.
Well, you should.
Anyway,
So-
Mr. Anchia, it does not take anyone off the rolls. It does not take anyone off the rolls. It just simply keeps the criteria the same as the CHIP program.
The numbers that I have before me from the agency itself
I'm looking at it.
says that infants formerly served under Medicaid were only 59,269 for FY09 and 63,416 for FY 2009. The total CHIP recipients are 95,480 for FY 2008 and 101,977 for
Okay.
FY09. Would there not be a reduction based on those numbers?
Okay, first of all, I'm going to answer your question, and these numbers are predictions. These are not actual facts and data.
These numbers are used all the time to disqualify people's bills. We rely on these numbers regularly. Why do you not rely on them? Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay, I tell you what. First I'm going to say, Ms. Anchia, you're absolutely wrong. Your numbers are wrong. Your information is wrong. I've been upstairs. I am looking at the same document you're looking at. But because you've already been here for how many hours, we still have X number of amendments to go. And I will be back. But right now, out of consideration for the body, I will pull this amendment down.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
The amendment's withdrawn.